This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Lafayette, Colorado. We're at Colored Paint. Since 1999, this artist has been providing decorative paint and plaster for your home and showrooms, show homes throughout Colorado and the Front Range. Pamela, let's start off first of all. As an artist, what is it that got you involved in this industry, and where did this passion for art come about?
It actually came rather unexpectedly, but I met someone and they showed me how to do the type of painting. She said, I can show you how they paint in restaurants. And she showed it to me, and all of a sudden it was like a lightning bolt went off. And I had no idea, but I was off on a new career.
Obviously, as we all know, a coat of paint can do wonders for a room, but really you're taking it a level beyond that. You're quite honestly transforming a room to represent and reflect a client based on a little bit of research and finding out what they want.
Well, I'm adding atmosphere and really honing in on what the feeling tone is. So I'm adding a lot of character to the room, and there's a lot more that can be done other than just working with a simple, straight coat of paint, and so I get to interpret what it is that they want. It's really a lot of fun.
Anymore, in a society, fast-paced, go-go, are consumers really starting to treasure and value the time in their home? They want to be inspired by the walls around them?
Actually, they have for a while, and the big change was at 9/11. Everybody wanted to feel safe, and they wanted their home to feel like a cocoon. They wanted it to feel exactly like the place that they wanted to come home to. And so that's when decorative painting, faux painting, exploded, and people wanted everything to feel kind of dark and cavey and safe. They wanted it to feel older, like European and that sort of thing, so it had this feeling of stability.
Speaking of older, how does the decor of today compare to that of yesterday? I mean, is it really evolving, and do you really have to keep yourself educated?
It's really evolving, and I think that's what's kept me doing this for so long, is that it's just a constant exploration. And a lot of times people think of faux painting as, something that was the older style, and because design has changed so radically in the last several years, people are going with brighter colors, a much cleaner look. There's so many things that can be done with paint that are not the old and dingy and drab. In fact, a lot of paint was kind of dirty. There was a decorative style called more of a dirty look, and in Colorado we love the earth, so a lot of earth tones, but things are getting cleaner, clearer. It's a clearer, crisper color. It's really fun.
You can refresh any space in anyone's home, but quite honestly, the folks that live in those spaces, does it kind of re-energize them as well once they get something done?
The sense of joy that I get from my work is profound. A lot of times I'll be talking with a client, and sometimes they don't even exactly know what it is they want, but we start to talk, and what very often happens, I have to laugh about it because very often I just get like chills that kind of run through my body, and then I always just say, the paint gods have spoken.
Yeah. One of the things, before we get into the combination of paint and plaster, what you're able to do, let's speak a little bit about paint. Let's talk about color. How important is it to get that color just right before you go and take to a wall? Is that basically what you're able to provide for a client?
Yes. I will try different variations on a color. Each situation is so different depending upon the lighting. One of the newer things that's happened in the last couple of years is shimmer, having things be metallic. So that adds another element. But, I'm always doing sample boards. I'm interpreting what I think it is that they want. I will bring 2 to 3 to 4 where there'll be a subtle variation in color or technique to get it just exactly right.
Obviously myself, and I imagine folks that are viewing, many of us out there are design challenged, color challenged. You're a color specialist. Is really that where a professional can come in and kind of capture what's in my mind's eye and really help me relate what I was hoping to go for?
Yes.
Wow, it's just that simple. Once you bring me the boards, many times are people surprised that you actually, wow, that is really what I wanted?
That happens all the time. And a lot of times people say to me, I don't even know how you knew what it is that I wanted, but that's exactly what I wanted. A lot of times people are frightened by color. And so they tend to go a little safer. But when they work with someone like me that can say, well, let's just give this a try. And then they see it, and then I'll even have them put the sample board and tape it up on the wall for a while and kind of live with it. And if they go safer, it's safer, but if it's just that little bit extra, that's when they love it.
That is really neat because obviously color emits a certain energy into a room. And like you say, you can go with a serene feel. You can basically go a little more dynamic. Is it important for you to know who's living in that room, what activities are taking place? Does that help you to decide as well?
Oftentimes I'm asking people, give me 3 words for how you want this to feel. So that tells me a lot right there. Someone that says they want something to feel serene and calming is very different than dramatic and impactful.
One of the things that you're known for is the fact that you're able to use fresh, unusual paint techniques. Share with me some of those techniques that basically we as the amateur probably would be very afraid to even go at.
Glazing is what a lot of times people think of, and that used to be real hodgepodgey and messy and that sort of thing. Now it's much more monochromatic, more subtle, but still adds a little bit of atmosphere. But probably, I think the most exciting thing, and the thing that I'm doing quite a bit of, is I'm working with foils to add a little bit of extra shine, or especially lots and lots of different types of plasters. People are more willing to experiment with plasters, and that's a totally different look than a glaze. That's probably what I'm doing most of, is plastering, different types of plaster.
You had mentioned metallic plastering. That's something that you're well known for, or even polished plastering. Share with me kind of the differences there of what the look is.
Well, it can either be smooth, it can be gritty. That's essentially it. And sometimes the plasters go on and you're adding a lot of texture. Sometimes it's just very, very quiet and building up layers. The amount of different looks that we can get, it's just phenomenal. It is so much fun too. I mean, people can really get something absolutely gorgeous.
And so if you're talking about a bigger room, do you many times combine a lot of these techniques that actually complement each other?
Everything needs to flow. Things need to work. Is if there's a room that seems really different or really disparate than another, is to do something to kind of bridge the two. Very often people are just handing me fabrics and then I just come back with something. I really want people to fall in love with their homes all over again. That's how I want them to feel.
Folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is her website. On the website, you'll get a clear idea of how to schedule her up. Quite honestly, she has different seasons that are more busier than others. You'll get a clear idea of basically what the process is. We're talking about a consultation. Can sit down with you, decide what type of budget you're within. Also decide, like she said, what's going on in that room and what you're really hoping to achieve there as well. You're also going to see there a lot of the samples on the website of some of her work. We've been showing you a lot of them on the screen there, and it's really going to get your creative juices flowing and decide if something you may want to do out there. I know for myself, I would love for you to come in my home, make my walls basically art. What about existing art that I have already? I want those walls to complement that as well. I know that's what you're known for. Share with me what you do there.
I take a look at it, and a lot of times we don't want to compete with it. It's just how to show it off to its best advantage. Because sometimes a beautiful piece of art, it can be enhanced. We don't compete with it.
Interesting. I mean, it's amazing. People go out and they invest quite a bit of money on an art piece, only to sometimes get it home and it just doesn't look as cool as it did where they bought it.
Right.
I imagine presentation is a big part of it, as well as lighting.
That's right.
I'm looking at some pieces here, show boards. Is this what takes place after the consultation?
Yes. So I get a feeling from people. We're talking over. Part of it is not only the look, but really, frankly, what is the budget? What is the parameters of the financial? Because I can be going in and it's basically like saying, what kind of car would you like? I don't want to start talking about, a Porsche if that's not in the plan. Right. So then once I have some sort of a parameter about that, then I figure out what is the most bang for the buck that I can give people. How can we get that best look? And because there are a lot of different ways to approach it.
Your work has been, quite honestly, shown all along the Front Range, all the way down into Vail Valley. Basically, multiple rooms within the parade of homes. Is the passion still alive with you like it was over 14 years ago?
It is, and especially now with the changes that are coming in, with the way design has changed. But design changes because people are ready for something new, and I was ready for something new too, and it has just been a blast.
Last time, folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see the website. You're also going to see her contact information. And once again, like she says, have an idea about possibly budget, what you're looking at. She gives some ideas there on the site as well to give you an idea of what a certain type of room may cost or a certain size. But keep in mind, this is a very customized approach that she really can only give you a firm bid after she has sat down with you and decided what it is you want to do. And keep in mind, we've spoke a lot about residential here, but she's also available for commercial work as well. Her work is in a lot of restaurants throughout the area also. That is the Colored Paint with Pam. Fall in love with your home all over again. This is Gary Atencia with CNTV. And if you don't know, now
Medical Massage International provides the public with independent, competent healthcare practitioners through the art of massage. We train therapists to last and sustain a career beyond our school by entering them into the medical world of massage. Establishing core values within our students to bring out the best in themselves is our goal. You too can join this diverse group of therapists to thrive in the medical massage world.
This is Gary Atencia with CNTV, and today we're in Arvada, Colorado. We are here at Jack's Point Assisted Living. Since 2009, they have been providing a residential home, providing care for those with memory needs, as well as a full group of people. Let me ask you this, as the administrator as well as the founder, Russ, why don't we start off, first of all, what got you involved in this type of industry?
I was in the healthcare industry doing a lot of marketing and calling on nursing homes, hospitals, assisted livings, and I saw there was a void in the kind of care that was being offered to people with Alzheimer's and dementia. And then I saw a few homes small like this that were being successful, and we looked at it from an opportunity as something that we'd like to do.
Wonderful. Throughout our lives, be it young or old, we're all looking for a place that we can call home. Is that really what you're providing here?
Yeah, what we're trying to do here is make these people feel very comfortable. In a lot of other settings, they might not feel like they're in a home or in their home, and they might feel like they're sick. In this setting, they can feel more comfortable. They don't feel like they're sick. They feel like this is a place that they're used to and comfortable with.
Great. As we age, obviously there's some challenges we have to overcome. One of those that is very common is memory loss. Let me ask you, memory loss, even a slight touch of it, how does that affect a person's daily living?
Well, a lot of times people can forget about some of the normal things that they would do in a daily situation. They can't remember that they might have eaten or not eaten. They might not remember to take a shower. They might not remember to trim their toenails or something like that. Things that start to get to be a little bit of an issue. They don't bathe, or they don't wash their clothes. They don't do a lot of things that become a nuisance to them over time.
Obviously, folks that are going through dementia, memory loss of any extreme, basically, how important is it to make sure they are put in the right setting?
You know, it's really important, Gary. We have a situation where a lot of times people end up in the wrong setting. They might end up in a setting that causes them to be feeling like they're in an institution, feel that they're sick. They see people coming at them with uniforms on. They're in a clinical setting. They're taking medications all day long. They can't smell any food because they're so far away from the dining hall, and they start acting sick and they decline very rapidly. And what we have found is oftentimes we can bring those folks here with the help of their family, and we find that they're really not sick. They're more in a different situation. And when their needs are being met, they're very happy and thrive and do really well. And oftentimes we can get them off some of the meds that they were on because they may have been over-medicated. So it's really important that people find a good setting for their loved one.
Obviously, a large facility can be overwhelming for any one of us. I can't imagine somebody with memory, I mean, you're walking down a hallway, you're afraid, basically.
Yeah, in fact, one of the gentlemen that we have here was so afraid where he was trying every single door, trying to figure out where he was at. He didn't understand all these doors. And he has that setting here where there are doors. We have them different colors. He knows he's going into different rooms. He can say hi, do whatever, but he's not worried anymore. He's just, now it's a routine for him to just check on everything. So it can be very, very confusing.
Interesting. So basically something as simple as taking medication, which is really critical to a lot of folks, you're there to help with medication management.
Exactly. And a lot of times people don't realize that they need to continually take medication at a certain time of the day with fluids, things like that. So there's a procedure as well as a timing issue, and it needs to happen on a regular basis, otherwise it can be very dangerous.
Interesting. I know one thing just with my own grandmother herself, it seems like almost a daily basis you're almost having to be there to reassure her that everything's okay.
Yeah, exactly. We try to create an environment where people feel like they're needed, wanted. There's some feeling of camaraderie, and they enjoy themselves. They have a good day. You know, they can look forward to certain things during the day.
Wonderful. Obviously, one of the more serious forms of dementia is that of Alzheimer's disease, obviously affecting 1 out of every 10 in the age of over 65, which quite honestly, is this something that you're equipped to provide for, care for those folks?
Exactly. Alzheimer's is what a lot of people refer to as dementia. It's about 80% of the people who have dementia have Alzheimer's.
Your bedroom.
Now, in this home, we take care of not only folks with Alzheimer's, but other dementias. So it requires that we understand different behaviors and different ways to work and comfort people, and understand how to redirect and work within their capabilities and understandings. One thing that we do is pretty unique, is we find out 20 things that we can make that person go back to a happy place. And we try to use that whenever people get a little frustrated with their day or something's not going right. We try to talk to them about something that really was fun and exciting for them. Maybe where they were from, what they used to do, some of their favorite colors or activities. Those are some of the things we try to help them remember.
Quite honestly, I experienced the staff here working. Obviously, working with dementia, the staff has to be very understanding and loving, as well as one hard-working group.
Oh, these ladies are amazing in terms of the love and attention they put into each individual resident that they take care of. You know, they're awake all night. They prepare the meals. They clean. They do all the adult daily living activities for these folks. They just love on them, and they're special. They're what make this place run.
I imagine folks probably set up homes like this, but it really takes probably special care when you're dealing with memory loss.
Yeah, a lot of times when homes set up like this, they're targeting more just people who are elderly in an assisted living setting. But when you start taking care of folks with more needs who are in a dementia setting or in a Alzheimer's position, you need staff that's very well trained. They're unique caregivers. You got to have staff that's we have 2 people all day long taking care of eight residents, and then overnight they're doing a lot of things. They're up and they're awake, and it's a challenge. But if you do things right, it's so rewarding.
Let me ask you this: how important is an activity program or exercise for their health and well-being?
Oh, it's huge, because again, we went back to the idea of forgetting to do things. Sometimes they forget that they need to stay in shape and be active and take walks and recreate and so forth. And when you remind them and they start doing it, their body remembers, and then they start to crave it a little bit, and it's a good thing.
Like you said earlier, basically a lot of these tasks that we take for granted in our everyday life become a burden. Basically, we even forget to do. So everything as far as personal care, we're talking about bathing, hair care, everything like that is taken care of here at the home.
Exactly. One of the things, we have a nurse come in and deal with their toenails once a month. We have a hairstylist that comes in and helps them with beards or hairdos or styles. We also handle all their incontinence needs. I mean, a lot of times when people get a memory situation, that's one of the things they begin to forget, is to go to the bathroom or to be regular, and that's something we help them with. And so it's encouraged through diet, it's encouraged through hydration, it's encouraged through movement and exercise. Just keep them comfortable and regular, and that's regular.
You just mentioned one of those, which is diet. I just got done watching the crew there put together a great meal for them. Is that something we're going to see? Are we talking about special meals for each one, or do you have basically something that works for everybody?
You know, we try to accommodate certain needs that people might have. Some people have some swallowing challenges. Some people don't chew as well. Some people don't eat certain things. You know, there might be someone who's avoiding certain foods just from a choice standpoint or a dislike. So when we make a meal, we try to make it in such a way that we can accommodate people. But for the most part, people are pretty flexible and they like to have different foods. A lot of them have their sweet tooths, and we make sure. But food is something that they love to smell, they love to taste, and they love to enjoy. And it's something they look forward to. The more you can have home-cooked meals going on, the more they thrive and enjoy that.
Speaking of smell and taste, what I like about the home here is basically it's not like a facility. You walk in, you feel like it's a home because really it is. And obviously at a subconscious level, I imagine a lot of them have to feel that same way.
Oh, exactly. In fact, we have one lady here who tells us that her father built this home, and it's her home, and her sisters grew up here. And she wants us to make sure that we turn the lights out and we minimize the electricity use, and we take good care of her home.
Wonderful. We're talking about a professional staff on hand, 24/7, around the clock? And what about in the need of a doctor? Is there a doctor on call, or how does that work?
So we have doctors come in, and different residents might have different doctor situations. So we will have doctors that will meet the needs of that particular patient. And we can have nurses come in, we can have doctors come in, we can have CNAs, physical therapists. For example, we have a lady that's rehabilitating from a broken hip, and she had a visit today from a physical therapist. And he gave us a range of what we can do with her that's going to be not only safe, but encouraging for her to get back to where she was before. So we have a lot of people helping us here. This isn't all about just us. We have a whole group that comes in here on a regular basis. We also have 2 people on hospice right now, and hospice care means we have additional help on top of all the other help that we provide.
Great. Russ, you had mentioned earlier about a woman who had a broken hip. I noticed here that basically everything is wheelchair accessible, and that includes coming out in the backyard and the commons area here.
Yeah, we tried to take the house and make everything handicap accessible. The bathrooms, the doorways got widened, all the floors are level. People can move around and feel comfortable either with a walker or a wheelchair, and that keeps everybody safe.
Wonderful. Also out here, you've got a commons area here. I see a barbecue behind me. Is that something that takes place here when it warms up here in Arvada?
Sure, we do. We love doing that on the weekends. For lunch, myself or the caregivers will have a barbecue. It's about fragrance and it's about ambiance. These people enjoy themselves. You know, they have a great day. The one thing I've learned from this population is enjoy every day.
Wonderful. Let me ask you this. Obviously, the home here, how many bedrooms are we talking here? And are some of them private as well as shared rooms?
We have 6 bedrooms, and we take care of 8 residents. So we have 2 of the bedrooms we're sharing with 2 people each. And what's interesting is a lot of times people don't like to sleep on their own when they have a memory care challenge. They want to have a roommate. They get a little bit lonely. So we try to find those people and match them up, and it works out real well.
Excellent. I also notice here the fact that basically, obviously, the success model you've put together is working well. Are you looking at expanding and opening elsewhere?
We sure are. We're trying to put together a plan to do 9 more homes in the Arvada area, so we want to have a total of 10. And then we also want to have a wellness center that's going to allow us to get out and do more activities. So we would take people from the homes to the wellness center on a little bus and get a couple of days a week where we're doing some exercise, socializing, and just having a good time.
Wonderful. Folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see basically is their website. If you go to the website right there is the contact information. The first step basically is to contact them here. Obviously, possibly set up a tour. Come on down, take a look how it feels here, and you will see, like I did, it's really a home environment. We're talking about not a facility here, but a home that is run, owned, and operated locally. If we had some kids or siblings out here that are possibly thinking about this would be a good environment for their parents, what is the process? What do they need to do?
First thing is take a look at our website and then give me a call directly, and my information is listed there. And let me talk to them a little bit about their needs and their time frame, and I can give them some ideas of what to do as a next step, or put them in touch with some people that can help them out.
Really what you're providing here not only is peace of mind for the folks that are in the home, but obviously for the kids as well, knowing that their parents are being well taken care of, and really in a home environment where you have taken care of all the details.
You know, they're going through a crisis in their life, and what we want to do is minimize that as best we can and help them through that. And so what we want to do is make sure they understand their loved one's taken care of, and they don't have to worry about that. And they can just visit and come out and come and hang out, and we're going to take care of all the details for them.
All the details for you. Once again, folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen. Their contact information is right there. And remember, this is basically Jack's Point at Flower Court, one of possibly many here in Arvada. And make sure and reach out to them. They can help you through any process. They understand, like he said, you're going through a crisis where basically you're looking for answers. They've got those answers for you here. This is Gary Atensu with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know. Until next time, if you know of a business who you feel the whole city should know about, nominate them, we'll send a reporter out. This is Gary Atencio from CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.